Here I am on my way to the Nashville premiere of The Queen of the Ring. I remember when Ash Avildsen gave me the script like a bunch of years ago. There it is. It's for real.
My son, my daughter,
35,000 views on some of my TikToks.
Check. Now we got it. Ash, incredible. Just incredible. Now can you hear me? Is that mic working? Yes. I think you gotta turn that one on. There's the star. Come on. Yeah. All right, we're gonna do a little Q&A here. I tell you what, let Karen take the mic so we can make sure we get the question right. Maybe you go up in there. I know we're gonna have some questions. As Karen gets up there, I wanna ask the first question. Ash, do you know the backstory on that ring announcer, Dean Hill?
Just that he would work for OVW and he was local there and he was a real ring announcer, but not much past that.
Oh boy. As Karen, let me see a show of hands so Karen can get to you. Who wants to ask the first question? But Ash, I'll just let you know, my grandmother started promoting wrestling in 1946 in Nashville, Tennessee. So I got all the different little pieces in that, and Jack Pfeffer, and we could talk for hours on this. But Dean Hill, the ring announcer at the very end, when I first met Dean, I was 15 years old when I started, and Mick came in every Tuesday night in Louisville Gardens. Dean Hill was Officer Dean Hill. He was a police captain, but he walked the wrestlers to the ring every Tuesday night, and then he retired from the force up there and had the bug of wrestling and became a ring announcer for OVW. But I knew him as a guy who got people in and out of trouble all the time. All right, Karen, where are you at? First question.
Eli, congratulations on the film, excellent. Well, this is a story that needed to be told, so we're very happy it was on the screen. Emily, we know Kaylee helped you out on some of the moves and stuff. Did she help you out on the accent?
It's good, right? It's pretty well made. Just being around Kaylee helps. Helps everything, brightens my spirit, makes me look like a pro wrestler, is a hell of an actor.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we had a great time together.
Her first ever acting gig, scripted.
In case you saw me turn to Emily, I said, was it filmed in Louisville? She said, yes, because while I was watching, I was like, how did they get Jim Cornette out of his house? He doesn't leave, he wanted to go out to eat with me. But, so I was like, it had to have been filmed in Louisville.
So I got a question. Was all of it filmed in Louisville?
Everything, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Where's the arena that
The main event at the end?
Yes.
That was a place called the Actors Theater downtown.
Okay.
And we brought in the ring.
Wait, good, I want to make an observation.
Oh, yeah.
It's at the Actors Theater in downtown Louisville, and they happen to have that great seating like that, and those were all real people. There's no CGI, green screen, any of that. It was all, everything
That
was
was all
practical.
done in Louisville,
The whole thing. And we didn't do any pickup days, reshoots, nothing. But we got 30 days, and I said, all right,
That's all we got.
let's see, let's make a movie.
During a strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know this is Q&A, but I'd like to make an observation. I've got 40 years in wrestling, Jeff, not including being born into it, but 42, 41, something like that.
You're the old
So
guy.
I'm the old
I've
guy.
only got 38.
So my observation as a 40-year veteran is, what a towering performance in the lead role. I mean, it was stunning. I know,
Well, yeah, you know, when someone comes into our world is that they respect it, and you obviously did. And
Oh, yeah.
I'm so impressed by your talent, you know. And the question I had that I would have asked when I was out there was answered for me in like the first minute when I saw the poster outside. I thought to myself, are those her real biceps? And I very quickly learned they were. But
You're
it
not
was-
AI. You're not AI steps,
But
okay?
it was a beautiful performance. I loved
Thank
it.
you.
So I hope you get recognized for it.
Thank
I really do. I think you should.
Jeff, I got someone that wants the microphone real
Yeah.
quick. This was Baby Joe right here. He's all grown up. Give it up for Baby Joe.
Promo.
Push the button.
Cut a promo.
Izzy, do you like wrestling?
Yes.
Do you like wrestling?
It's on.
Go ahead.
He wrestled me out in the lobby.
You'll see? Karen, you got a question for us?
Joe, you want to come up here with me and hold the microphone? Come up here.
Yeah,
with
go up
me.
there.
No? Okay.
We gotta get it down for Dad.
All right, you want to stand up? What's your name? Jeremy. What's
You're not
your
gonna get it
question?
back, Jeff.
So what was the best and worst part of the training for this role?
Okay. Here you go.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta go this way.
I totally get like that too.
All right, fine. I can never hold the line with me. It's okay. Bring them back. It's fine. It's fine. Make it work.
The best part was, I think, feeling what that body felt like with so much muscle on it. It's so cool to be able to transform like that and then find someone else's spine within your own vessel. Like, that's so rad as an actor. It's, I don't know, it is believable, maybe a little bit strange. I guess I'm a strange person. And the worst part was probably, like, I was getting sick of chicken. Like chicken breast, I was getting sick of that after, at the very end, I was like, I'm done. We pushed 3 extra days because we had to wait for a waiver from the strike. And the 3 days that was supposed to be wrapped, my body was like, no more chicken. Like on the day, it's like to the hour. I was like on set, like trying to have another bite of protein. I was like, absolutely not, do not. You promised us July X, and now it is past July X. You are not allowed to have any more chicken.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Were you a wrestling fan, or did you ever watch wrestling before this role?
I just had zero information about wrestling in my entire
You
ecosystem.
did amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing.
I'm so grateful to be a part of this.
Anyone else have a question?
Put them up.
As someone that's in the entertainment industry, how did you feel portraying this character added to your personal life?
Well, it sounds, I guess, a little cheesy, but she gave me a lot of strength.
Absolutely.
I mean, she taught me a lot. I'm in my early 30s, not early 30s now. And things change, obviously, through your 20s. And there was just this part, I think, that was still kicking around. And as I was finding her, she was just kind of cheering me on a little bit, of settling into my own skin. And if there's ever a time that I have a little bit of doubt, she's the voice that comes into my head now. And that's so cool.
That was something that was so rewarding to me watching the film. I'm trying not to get emotional, but it
I'm
really
getting
did-
emotional.
Get emotional.
Help me.
It really did impact me as a woman, so thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Hi, welcome to Music City. I have to ask a music question. So Ash, if you could kind of walk me through your choices working with your composers about the music, because there was a mix of Midwest Americana, symphonic soundtrack there, and then we had 70s classic rock with Kansas mixed in as well. Can you talk about how those choices were made and what you wanted to accomplish with those?
Yeah, great question. So, it's always a stern creative decision on if you keep everything period friendly down to every song in a scene, absolutely every detail. And my first attempt, I actually have a very deep knowledge of a lot of most popular songs from the 30s and 40s now that I would have never discovered, and also the early 50s. But I found that going through it, what was most important was just what I felt fit the emotion and the feel of each scene, and just focusing on a tone that wouldn't be limited by everything being 100% period friendly. And honestly, I kind of broke form when we did the first needle drop with Lil Walter about My Babe, about the cheating. I just thought it was such a fun way to kind of break it open of like, okay, we're seeing our hero be cheated on, and now she's basically being subordinate to her manager. It's a very Ike and Tina Turner moment, but she's like, okay, well, if he's my manager, then all right, you work for me, bring her to me now. And it was this fun moment where you're like, yeah, like, all right, he's cheating, but she's still the headliner, like, bring the cheating woman. And long story short, once I kind of set that there, it was just kind of ripping the Band-Aid off. I'm like, I tried like 15 other songs. I'm like, it's the best song. I don't care. People, it sounds old. We're in an old time. Even like with the details, because not everyone knows this story. One of the nice things that it's not Marilyn Monroe or JFK or something that everyone knows is you can take a lot more creative liberty. So even like starting it off, I didn't like want to make it exactly how many years earlier in Kansas. It's just like years earlier. Okay, we're sometime in the 30s, sometime in the 40s and 50s, and then there's specific dates that were to the T. And The Dust in the Wind, I thought, I've always loved that song, and I've never heard that type of rendition. And she's from Kansas. Obviously, it's by a band called Kansas, which is kind of a fun on the nose, homage. But what I've taken from that song about how we apply all this meaning to our lives and our ego and all of these things, and then we die and we're just dust in the wind. And I know this is kind of like silly, but I felt like if this movie didn't get made, like Mildred would have ended up like just the story Dust in the Wings, because no one I knew who she was in the book, even though it's brilliant. It hasn't sold many copies. I hope this changes it. So it was kind of just this, and then also all of that, the love story with the stepson, and then it just basically gets thrown all away. She doesn't end up with him. The romance in the movie is not the heart of it, obviously. It's a sad love story. She died on Valentine's Day. So it just felt like it fit the scene so great. And then from there, it just kept going. Like, I tried a lot of scenes at the pool scene. Richie Valens, come on, let's go. I'm just like, this is fucking great. So I just played with that, and then, and at the end, that song's actually an unreleased song that sounded kind of 70s. That'll come out later this year. But yeah, I just wanted to make it whatever felt right for the scene, and not do anything too modern, of course, something that's going to completely take you out of like an EDM song starts playing or something. But I tried to keep it, ambiguous enough, but knowing, okay, they're not keeping it super period friendly to the year every scene.
EDM, Queen of the Ring version.
I watched, as they'll have, and felt so proud to see all this go on, and it was real. And I felt like I was in the 50s in Brooklyn, watching Haystacks Calhoun, Man Mountain Dean, do all these things, when I was a little kid of 5 or 6, not really getting it. And then it was reiterated by that last performance. I mean, you all did a great job, just a great job. And I remember at the beginning of my career always doing too much physically, always having a fight scene and getting punched and loft myself up in the air rather than just fall down like I do now. Now I just fall down like a domino, and you try to impress the director, that's why you do that, And I remember White Line Fever and all these movies, getting punched and lofting myself. And then I say, that's why my shoulder hurts now. That's why my lower back is all messed up, Watching this was heaven, and Ash, you did such a good job, man. This isn't easy to do this stuff. And girls was the best. You were all so terrific. And I'm a student of the physical, for all the Karate Kid days and all that. It was all about the convincing physical prowess of an athlete. And you guys did it. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I actually have a question for Mickey James. As a fan, that someone watched you, and you obviously seeing this, you have to
say any specifics. We've had a peculiar relationship with WWE with this film, with them approaching us, wanting to work with us, and disappearing and coming back and forth. It's very bizarre. I finally know what all the girls feel like when they're like, he's giving me mixed signals. I don't know how to read it. I'm like, WWE's been giving me a lot of mixed signals. But in your experience, going to the highest pinnacles of women's wrestling for your era, what was your experience being a woman in a large organization that still is predominantly, men as the executives, dealing with your colleagues as women, just finding out about the bookings and the politics and everything that's behind the curtain. Seeing, and again, you can keep it, surface level, but obviously a lot of people just found out about how the wrestling world works in the story we just saw.
Right.
That with your experience, anything that of note that you think you want to share?
How long we got?
Oh, I don't know if we have enough time. First off, I want to say thank you for allowing me to be a part of the film. I was very blessed and fortunate when Ashley called me to see if I was interested in coming down, that you were looking for someone to help work with a lot of the actresses, to help, they had learned how to wrestle in Louisville, and we're learning stuff, but to help learn and wrestle a little bit more like women. So I was really grateful because I thought it was such a great time, and then to be a little cameo, a little spotlight, and that was cool. That was
On the
fun.
director's cut, she will be in there with her lines as Fabulous
Oh, I
Moolah.
have.
She was a Fabulous Moolah. We found that the audience was getting confused. There were too many characters being introduced.
I was Fabulous.
You were Moolah.
Yeah, she was. She was in it. They had
Because it makes sense, the godmother.
I love it.
No, but I think that this is the first time I've seen the film in its entirety. So I felt like Mildred really resonated with me because I think that she was fighting so hard to break ground and change the business for women. And I feel like that has been my whole goal from day one.
Last night, I attended the premiere of the new movie Queen of the Ring about Mildred Burke, the first female pro wrestler. It was an awesome movie. Emily Bett Rickards did a great job playing Mildred Burke, and in real life, and you will have seen some pictures of her already dressed in blue from the premiere last night. She looks totally different in the movie, but she did a great performance of Mildred Burke. And I'll tell you, this movie is freaking awesome. It's PG-13. You can take your family to see it. It's an inspiring movie, and I think we all love movies where people have a dream and they manifest that dream. And here is Mildred Burke, growing up in a small town in Kansas, working at a diner with her mom, and she has like a 1-year-old kid. And so she's a single mom, in the 40s. And she has this dream to become the first female wrestler. A lot of the action takes place in the 50s, even into the early 60s. But we see her as maybe 19 or 20 or something like that. And she's at a wrestling match, and she's watching guys wrestle, and then she confides back at the diner to her mom that she wants to wrestle. Well, girls didn't and couldn't wrestle back then, so it was kind of like having the impossible dream, and that's why this movie is so inspiring, because she ended up working her butt off to become the Queen of the Ring. She held the title belt for 37 years. And I love a story where someone works hard to achieve their dream, and this movie perfectly captures that. Now, the movie was directed by Ash Avildsen, and in full disclosure, I did Paradise City with him, the TV show that's streaming on Peacock right now. But I remember him bringing me this script in like 2019 or 2020, and sharing his vision with me of this great story, and he worked on it for a long time, and it finally, it's done. It hit the theaters, and I can't wait for you to see it. There's not a lot in the theaters right now that is any good. This will probably be, if not the best, one of the best movies you'll ever see. And if you don't have a full understanding how this WWE and this wrestling works, and I had a personal experience back in the early 80s where I ended up at ringside at a boxing match between Boom Boom Mancini and Dooku Kim. And Boom Boom hit the Boom Boom on the side of the head of Dooku Kim. I was unfortunately sitting ringside right where this punch took place, and I swear it was like hearing the sound of a baseball bat, and Dooku Kim fell to the ground and died instantly. And it traumatized me for a long time, and so I was unable to get into any kind of wrestling, WWE, UFC, boxing. Like, it gave me this PTSD, so I never really paid much attention to it. When I went to write Paradise City with Ash in Lake Tahoe, Ash was really into this wrestling, and he was trying to buy the life rights and story to do this film about Mildred Burke, and he kind of got me to put my toe in the water to watch a few of the matches and watch him get excited about it. But still, I had this block about really trying to get into it and figure it out. And one of the great things about this movie is that there's the emotional side of it, of seeing this, teenage 20-something single mom become the highest paid female athlete in history at the time. But, she goes through a lot of, drama in her life with the guy who teaches her how to wrestle and manages her, cheats on her, and, they break up, they try to keep it together. And I don't want to give away too much, but, I have to tell a little bit about, the story. So, we watch her go through this relationship with her manager. We watch her fall in love with her manager's son. We watch how all these other, female wrestlers get recruited, taught how to do it. But, for me personally, because of this PTSD about watching, men wrestle and fight and hurt each other, and having seen Dooku Kim literally get his lights punched out, I really, this movie gave me the education that I never had by never being able to follow this wrestling thing and understand it. The amazing thing to me is that the correlation between the music business and the wrestling business, and without watching this movie last night, I would have never understood it. But in the music business, there's the face in the band, there's the heel in the band, there's all the business people around it trying to monetize it, and there's always that fight between the artistic and creation and the business. And in this movie, it's amazing and funny how the wrestling business side correlates to the music business side. It's just that the wrestlers are the talent, and in the music business, it's the musicians that are the talent. But all the machinations going around are all the same. And watching this movie, it really brought me back, and I started thinking about some of, the heels and faces that I worked with, and, the talent and all of the intricacies of the personalities of the talent. And I think, Ash Avildsen, who's the producer, director, and writer of Queen of the Ring, he's been in the music with Sumerian Records for 20 years or more, and I'm sure for him, when he was writing this and shooting it, you know, he's probably saw the correlations between the faces and the heels in the music business, and now he's capturing it on film. So even if you're like a music business person, you're going to love this film, and seeing inside the inner workings of professional wrestling through the eyes of this film. And while we're talking about the music, of course, with Ash having come from the music business with Sumerian Records, and now Queen of the Ring is a Sumerian movie, you know, you're going to love his placement of music. And I was talking to him last night because the song at the end of the film, not in the credits, there's a killer song in the credits too, but the last scene of the film, which is Mildred's final fight to keep the belt, and I want to leave that there for you to experience, but he uses this Florence and the Machine song, and it is so perfect for that scene. I pulled my phone out, was going to take it off airplane mode to Shazam the song because I didn't want to wait till the movie was over to ask Ash what it was. But anyway, at the after party, and we were at the Green Hills, bar or whatever it was called. I can't remember, green room or something. But it was like an old greenhouse that had been turned into a late night bar. It was really cool, and there's some footage of it. But anyway, you know, I'd said to Ash, you know, how much I love that song, and he looked at me and he goes, "Yeah, I'm really glad you told me that because everyone thought I was crazy. I paid a crazy amount of money to get the rights to put that song in the film." And I just looked at him and said, "You did the right thing because I can't think of a more perfect song to capture the emotion of the ending of the film." You know, on that note, I hope you'll go out and see this film. I hope that you'll go to @CanYouGetMeIn on YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go to Tom Zutot Tomcat at TikTok, and go to Caption Lightning in a Bottle on Facebook, and like, subscribe, and follow all of my social media. This is Tom Zutot @CanYouGetMeIn saying bye for now.